Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Dead 7, Larger Than Life.
Directed by Danny Roew, written by Nick Carter and starring Nick Carter, also starring a bunch of other boy band celebrities such as A.J. McLean, Joey Fatone, Howie D, Jeff Timmons, Eric Michael Estrada, and the blonde bombshell Carrie Keagan. Dead 7 is an asylum film that premiered on Sci-Fi, as all asylum films do. And it's a post-apocalyptic western that has a group of 7 badasses going to kill a bunch of zombies to kill the head person that's creating these zombies. So what do we like? It was good seeing all these boy band guys coming back together for a movie, 15 years later. It's been a long time since I've seen or heard about any of these guys, except for Joey Fatone, because we did see him in Jersey Shore Shark Attack, but everybody else I haven't even heard from. So it's really neat to just see what they're doing, and then see them shooting zombies in the face. Because in any zombie movie, you need to have some bloodshed, and in this we do. We have lots of zombies getting killed all over the place.
We definitely had colorful characters in this film. They were all together, and they each had their different characteristics, especially Joey Fatone playing Whiskey Joe. He was the best out of all of them, in my opinion. Acting, performance, just his kills, his character. He was the one who you want to see on the screen the most, and I think he did the best job out of all of them.
Another standout was A.J. McLean, who played the villain in the movie. He was this creepy clown guy, and he just really played it up very well. He was very convincing. He had this weird, cackle and creepy laugh. He was just pretty sadistic. And I didn't expect it from him, because it's AJ from Backstreet Boys.
Now enough of these heartthrob boys. Let's move on to these bodacious babes. Mainly Carrie Keagan. She popped on screen, and me and Jay were just like, whoa.
Whoa, what's going on here?
She was a powerful, strong woman in this movie. I enjoyed her character. She had really big boobs.
Before we get into our dislikes, this movie isn't really good, but I think that a lot of people would probably enjoy it because it's just a bunch of boy bands. So, hang in there. Now let's go on to our dislikes. Now, I do want to start this off talking about Carrie Keagan. She is a blonde bombshell, and she does have very large boobs. So large, in fact, that I think they were too big. I know, this is something I never thought I'd ever say. But anytime she was on screen, I'm not looking anywhere else. It doesn't matter how serious the scene is, you're going to be staring at this girl's humongous boobs. They're the size of watermelons for real. You can't not look at them, and so sometimes the boobs are distracting, just like in real life.
Now, we did have colorful characters in this movie, and I liked Whiskey Joe. I thought he was very cool, and AJ as a villain was a nice touch. Then we have Eric Michael Estrada, the samurai. Definitely out of place in this one, especially because it's post-apocalyptic and it's a western. And yes, samurais are a traditional form of western, so I get where they're going with that. But he definitely looked out of place and acted out of place. And giving him headphones made it even more awkward.
And again, moving on from the colorful characters, we'll go to the colorless palette that is this movie, because there are no colors in this movie. Everybody these days wants to make a zombie movie, and all zombie movies look the goddamn same because they don't put any goddamn color into any of the film. I'd also like to touch on some very poor acting that was in this movie, and I'm sorry to call you out. Jeff from 98 Degrees, Timmons, absolutely horrendous acting. Everybody else did a decent job. None of them are great actors, but they did okay. Jeff just bunted on every line.
Let's wipe them all out. What are we waiting for?
I don't know why he had any lines by himself, to be honest. There were quiet scenes, and then it would cut to Jeff, and he'll just deliver a really emotional line, and it just sounds stupid as fuck.
So this is where it all started in these mines?
Even our villain, Apocalyptica, she was the creator of the zombies. Her character was bad. It felt really out of place with the story, and it was hard to understand her at times.
Another large issue with this movie is the fact they had so many characters, and that's usually great, and they killed off pretty significant characters without really focusing on the kills. Like a major boy band character would be killed off, his death would last maybe 2 seconds, and nobody would even notice that he died.
Which brings in the story. The story was not a good story. Apocalyptica creates this zombie army for no real apparent reason other than to steal their resources. But she created the army to limit the resources of the world, and then she had to use the army to steal the resources.
If she just didn't create zombies, she'd have more resources.
Yeah.
If it ever comes to that time, let's just not make zombies and everything will be fine.
Or else we're gonna have to get some kimonos and samurai swords and put our hairs in man buns. This is probably the most disappointing factor in this movie. It stars boy bands, and we do not get one song or dance number by them.
We might get a song at the end. But yes, there's no dance numbers, there's no songs, none of them even whistled a little tune. There was no nods to the boy bands that they were actually in. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. This movie wasn't a great movie, but it was a decent, enjoyable movie. I had fun watching it, but it's completely mindless. The story is shit. The acting isn't very good. But it is guys from, all of the boy bands that, we grew up pretending we didn't listen to. There's lots of zombie kills, there's tons of zombies, and Joey Fatone is basically exactly what I want to be in the zombie apocalypse. So I have to give this 2 sexy clues out of 5.
Dead 7 is definitely a sci-fi asylum film. It's the made-for-TV quality that you would expect. The story is nonsensical and just all over the place. It's kind of cool thinking that you have a film with all your favorite 90s boy band characters in it, but it's a big waste when you don't actually acknowledge them as these 90s boy band characters. But there are some stuff that is nice to see in this film, like Joey Fatone's character. Very enjoyable. And Carrie Keagan's boobs. And with that being said, I'm gonna give this 1 no-scope out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. But you might be better off just watching Backstreet's Back. It's a little more horror than this movie. It is what it is. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here or you haven't already. If this is your second time here and you haven't subscribed yet, come on guys. Click the button. Come on. Come on.